All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing, starting a brand new class today. First time we're ever doing it. So if there's anything that you want to have covered that we don't cover, definitely let me know. We're going to be covering command groups, chat, and then working with referrals here in Command rather than we used to cover in KW Connect, because it's exactly the same system here in Command as it was in KW Connect. So you can apply it to both places. It's exactly the same thing. So before we get started, I do want to let you guys know this class is being recorded. It should be available within just a couple of hours, if not at the latest tomorrow, at slmtraining.com. So that's S as in Scott, L as in Leroy, M as in marketing, training.com. And I'm sending you guys a link there for you. And then if you're having trouble hearing me on your computer, or if you would call in on your phone, we do have a call in number that I'm sending you guys there in the chat window. Speaking of the chat window, that's how you're going to communicate with me if you do have something to say during the class. So if you'll look up near the top of the screen here, you should have these same 5 buttons that I do. This one just to the left of center here that looks like a speech bubble, if you'll click on that, the chat window here, and that's where I sent you guys the link to where you can find this recording once I get it up there, and then also where I've shared that call-in number there. You can call that number, use this code, including the pound sign, and then you should be able to hear that way if you're having trouble on your computer. So to get started here, to get logged into Command, you do have to be logged in order to use any of these features. To log into Command, you're going to visit agent.kw.com. So agent, like you're a real estate agent, just singular, one agent, no S at the end, .kw.com. Now there was an old login page that I believe is now working correctly, so you could log in on either page, and I've only experienced where you had to do this once. But anyway, you could also log in at login.command.kw.com. So that's a lot of extra typing versus just agent.kw.com. You're going to log in using the exact same username and password that you use for MyKW. The login information for MyKW is synced with KW Command, KW Connect, KW Video, the KW app. Almost anything that starts with KW, it's going to use the exact same username and password. So that username is going to be usually first initial, last name, and then maybe a number or two. It is not your @kw.com email address. That has not been possible to be used as a username since September 7th of 2018. Once you're logged into Command, you should see this page here. You should be on your dashboard. And we're going to be going a couple of different places here in Command, but the first thing I want to show you is down here at the bottom right. You may need to click on this Accept Cookies button in order to get it out of the way. There are a couple of things we're going to need to be able to see, and we can't see them until we click on this Accept Cookies button. If it will let me click it, which of course it's giving me trouble. There we go. Once we click on Accept Cookies, that's going to open up the first thing that we're going to look at here, the chat box. So if we click on here where it says chat, there's a couple of different options for how we can use that. So we can start out with Ask Kelly. So previously you were only able to use Kelly on your phone, but if you click on Ask Kelly here, you can ask her pretty much all the same things that you could do on your phone. So Kelly, let's see, show listings near me. Let's see what we can do there. And it's not, there we go. There's a problem contacting the Kelly server. Please ask your question later. Okay, so guessing it looks like Kelly is having some issues here. So if you do run into some issues with what we're working with here, and we're bound to, Command is a very new system. It was released a little bit too early in my opinion, and there are a lot of issues that need to be fixed up by KW International. So if there's anything that's not working or is not working properly, you're just gonna have to wait it out. Unfortunately, you can reach out to KW International support for help with things that are going on in Command, but in most cases it's probably already been reported by a couple of thousand people, and you would just need to wait for them to fix it. And we have no idea how long it's going to take for all the things that are wrong with Command to get fixed. It could be several months is what we're guessing. So speaking of contacting KW International support, if you do want to do that, you can use the support button down here at the bottom. Their email support has been greatly delayed the last several weeks, and they've been asking people to use this support button here in Command instead, and also use this button versus calling them as well, because that's a very, very long wait time on hold. It's an hour plus waiting on hold for all the thousands of people that have called in prior to you. So go ahead and use the support button here in Command to reach out to KW International. Underneath where we've got Ask Kelly here, we've got recent conversations. It shows that I sent a message to Kelly recently, and then also where I've been chatting with Scott recently. So if I click on Scott here, it's going to open up that chat again. And so I test message here. And if Scott were logged in on the other end, he could be chatting back and forth with me. This is an instant messaging system, so you can chat back and forth with people that are logged into Command. Now, you're not, you can't, well, how do I say this? You're not limited, there we go, to only sending chats to people that you've sent chats to previously. Option down here for my team. I don't know exactly how functional this is because I'm not a member of a team, never have been, never will be. And well, where did we go? Clicked on my team and I'm not sure where it has taken me here. Anyway, the team functionality in Command is tenuous at best. There's no sharing involved going on. It looks like you should be able to chat with your team members. If you click on that, it should expand it down and you can click on the name of your team members to start a chat with them. Okay, so chat has not come back, so we're going to have to jump over to the next thing we're going to look at, which is groups. So to get to groups, that's actually going to be under Connect up here. So we're in Command currently, that's why it's highlighted green. We're going to switch over to Connect. That's where we're going to find the groups that we're a member of in KW Connect. Okay, so now we've got our dashboard of groups. Over on the left, it's going to list all the groups that you're a member of in KW Connect. I'm a member of the Commands Lab. I'm a member of the General Labs group. I'm a member of the Pennsylvania Greater region. I'm a member of the Technology Ambassador community, and then I'm a member of this particular market center, York, Pennsylvania. I'm not actually in York. That's just the last market center I was a member of, so I'm still there. And if you look over here in the center, this is going to be the most recent posts conglomerated between all of those groups, and it'll let you know which group it was posted in. So Thomas Hollingsworth posted in Labs here that he was noticing something in opportunity. I'm going to close a land list for me to add who also needs to be able to add roommates. Those are awesome things that should be added to Labs. So he posted that to the Labs group for that to potentially be added later. If I click on Labs here, and I'm not going to this at this point because it would be another 5 minutes before it loaded that actually. If I click on Labs, it would take me directly to this particular group and it would show only posts from that group. Try to put the APO somewhere in the States. There we go. She'd like to send some information. And so you can see a summary of all the posts that are in all your groups here. Now, you're not limited to groups that you were maybe automatically added to or invited to by other people. You can actually create your own groups here in this section, very similar to groups like on Facebook or maybe what are they called, mass email groups or things like that. You can create groups here in Command. So you can create a group for your team if you're the leader of a team. You can create a group for your market center, such as like the York, Pennsylvania Market Center here. You can create a group for I don't know, maybe the ALC in your market center. You could create a team for masterminding in your market center. You can create a group for basically any reason you want. You can create a referral group. You can create a coaching group. You can create a, this particular Ignite session group. All of that here in Connect. And it's fairly easy to do. Well, I thought it was. Where are we here? Oh yeah, it is fairly easy to do. So I'm going to go up here. We're in the dashboard right now under Connect. We're going to go to Groups instead. And that's going to go more into detail about the groups. And it's going to show a preview of what's coming down the pipe at some point. And of course, it's going to take another 3 or 4 minutes to load. Well, the important thing to show left the button that we're actually going to be using, this create a new group. Above that, it's going to list, there we go, the groups that I'm a member of again, and I can click on those to go look into those individual groups. Also over here on the right is a list, a preview of features that are going to be coming soon. So it's going to be invites that you're sent and received. Under there is going to be trending searches in KW Connect, suggested groups for you to look into, education groups from KW International, and then more information for National and KW Connect here. But instead, we're going to go on the left here and create a new group. There we go. We finally have a box here. Okay, so we're creating a new group. This is pretty self-explanatory to fill out. What is the name of your group? You could call this, Market Center 123 Cappers. You could call this Productivity Coaching Group. You could call this Ignite beginning, March 13th, 2019, that kind of stuff. Give it a description. We're going to call this a class group 2019. There we go. 0327. This is a test group from the class today. Keywords is going to be, there we go, what you're going to be found by when people are searching for groups in KW Connect. So you want to be as accurate as possible for these keywords. You would do stuff like coaching or ignite or masterminds or referrals or things like that. Moderators, I don't know why it even gives you this option, because there are no members of the group yet until you create the group and you invite some people. Under that, we've got members here, so we can send an invitation to, let me search for Scott. There we go, going to send an invitation to Scott. Under that, we've got our visibility options. Public group means that if someone were to go to KW Connect and just start looking at groups, it would probably like show in this section here where it's got the preview, and they could just find your group as they were browsing through. Closed group means that they could find you in search if they were searching for your name or the tags associated with your group, but they wouldn't actually be able to see the content of what's in your group. They wouldn't be able to see posts and things that people have shared. And then you've got private group, which is invitation only. Nobody can find it unless you or somebody who's a member of the group sends them an invitation. So they wouldn't be found by search or by browsing in KW Connect. And then for an icon here, you can upload an image up to 256 by 256, max size of 5 megabytes. So I'm just going to go get a plain KW logo. There we go, we got that nice PNG for the KW logo. And then we'll click on Create Group down here at the bottom. So now we've got this group here new at the top of the list, class group for today's date. So when we click on that, now we can see what's inside this group. So this banner in the settings, which we'll get to in just a little bit, you can invite new people to join this group. So you can invite new members to the class, you can invite new coaching clients, you can invite new members of the ALC, you can, anybody that you want to be in whatever this group is that you've created, you can invite them there. The feed here is going to be the newest posts from members of the group. Click on members, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to list everybody who's a member in the group. Click on events, this is going to be things that this group is hosting or going to be attending or things like that. So if it is, say, an Ignite group, one of the things in Ignite is that you're supposed to be hosting an open house every week. So everybody could post their open houses in here for everybody else to go to. And it looks like that is still coming soon. Over here in resources, this is where you're going to be able to share like files especially, but also links to outside resources or links to things in KW Connect. And this would be great for like coaching. Say you've got a feedback thing or a script for people to use or things like that. You could share that here in resources for this group. Coming over here on the right to this little gear here, that's the settings gear. Gear means settings almost universally. Almost anywhere you look, if there's a gear button, that means settings. So when we click on that, we're going to see the settings for our group. So these headings over here about general location, all of that, they're just going to be down this page. So we're not going to worry about clicking on those because those are all here in this same page. So we've got the name here. You can edit the name of your group after it's been created. That's a little bit different from other social media platforms where once the group is created, the name is kind of set in stone unless certain conditions are met. So you can change the name of your group. You can change those keywords, those tags that describe your group for people to search for. You can also change that description. For the location, this would be great for specific things like if you met, say, outside the office, you could put that in there. Or if you do meet in the office, you could put the office's address there. For appearance here, the profile graphic, that is going to be, I'm guessing what's in this circle here. I don't know what that icon was that we uploaded just a little bit ago. So I'm going to put in an image, put in that KW logo again just to do that. There we go. And then for the banner graphic, that's the image that's going to be behind the circle, behind the name across the top here. So we're going to do something simple there here. I'm just going to see what I have available in my folder. I guess we'll just do the same thing. I don't have any wide images there. I could have gone and browsed around some more, but that would have taken more time. And so that's going to be in the background there. So it's only going to show like this part of it, but we'll be able to tell what it is once we get back out to the group. Scrolling down here to the admin rights, if there were other group members here that were part of the group, you could add them as moderators. you'll only be able to select people that are in the group. So like, you could try searching for other people, but if they're not already members of, to add them as a moderator. You can also change that privacy setting at any time. And then down here at the bottom is where you can archive the group. So it's going to put the group away, no longer going to be active, no more new posts, wouldn't show up in anybody's lists of groups, which I'm going to do in just a little bit once we're done talking about groups. But so say you created a group by mistake, or you created a test group just like I have here or something like that, or the group became inactive or irrelevant or things like that, you can archive the group. It's not going to be stuck in your list of groups forever. I don't believe there's a save button anywhere. So if you uploaded those images or you made any of these changes, all you would need to do is just look up at the top here and it looks like it's been changed. So if I go back to feed, here we go, we've got that banner image. I'm sure that first KW logo went. I think it's supposed to be in this circle, but maybe not. You can post to this group. Let's click in here and see what kinds of things we can post. So we can share text here, we can share images. What is this button here? A poll. You can create a poll for the group. So where should we go for lunch at the next meeting? Or who should be president of this group, or things like that. Over on the right, we've got our description and our name, contact information for the group moderator, the group admin, that'd be me. And then down here is going to be a list of members. Over on the right, click on this little 3 dots here. 3 dots always means more options, unless it's not actually going to do anything here. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a fairly new system. So if I click on the name up here, you can actually switch to any other group that you're a member of as well. So we could switch to like the technology ambassador one here, which is going to take some time. Looks like things are moving a little more quickly. There you go. So if you're a member of somebody else's group, you can leave that group over here on the right. Okay, let's go ahead and work on refer. Well, let's go back to our command dashboard just to see if we have access to chat now. Oh, hey, there's the chat window. Oh, I'm sorry. It's over here on the left menu. It's going to be this button right here with the little person silhouette inside the location icon. Not under settings. Okay, so this is the referral section equal to what's in KW Connect. If you're having trouble with command, you can always switch over to KW Connect and click on referrals and see all the same information here. We're going to be going fairly in depth into pretty much everything you can do here in referrals. So, okay, so here is my referral system. Up here under referrals overview, it's going to show inbound, outbound, active or something like that, and closed, and it will eventually load, hopefully. Under that, here is my hand-picked list of people that I think I'm actually going to do referral business to. Slow loading is a very common experience. Okay, I'm very glad that I'm not the only one experiencing that. By the way, my name is Robert. Scott doesn't teach this particular class. He actually teaches our Tuesday classes, but I'm flattered that you think I'm Scott. Okay, so pending invites. So this is people that want me to join their referral network. I'm not going to answer those. I'm not an agent. You can't send me referrals. I can't send you referrals. No point in sending me a referral request. Same for sending Scott a referral request. We can't do anything with referrals, so no point. New responses is going to be responses to your referral requests, so like counters or acceptances or things like that. We've got inbound, which is referrals that were sent to you, and then outbound, which is referrals that were sent from you to other people. Under that, we've got our hand-picked referral network. This is my short list of people that I actually think I'm going to do referral business with in the future, whether they're going to send me referrals or I'll send them referrals. So we are going to start with the basic function of adding people to this list, adding people to this referral network. So we'll click on Grow My Network over here on the right. And it's going to ask to know your location. It depends on whether you want to find an agent that's around your physical location, if you allow or block this. I'll go ahead and allow it. I'm in Kansas, middle of nowhere. Well, not middle of nowhere, but there's a lot of nowhere around me, Kansas. And it would show what's it called? Agents to send referrals to around my location, but I'm actually going to be looking in a different location and for different filters. So by default, what it's going to show here is, or actually, let's go ahead and perform a search here. Let's search for Pensacola, best place I've ever lived. By default, what it's going to be showing here is a bunch of purple dots. Each of those purple dots is a closed transaction from a KW agent in that area. And if you actually is, like I said, transactions that were closed, and it'll show you on the right the agents who closed those transactions along with the total number of transactions they've had in that area last 12 months. So that's what it's showing by default here is production. So instead of production, what we can switch to, okay, finally we're loading some things. So here's Jennifer Weaver in production, Carrie, Renee, Sadie, Patricia. Well, all these names I recognize, Beverly, Dean. So if you like what you're seeing here, you can see it's supposed to show some basic stats about their production here. But instead what you can do is in this drop down, instead of production, which it does by default, the more likely option you're going to want to do is market centers. So here on the map here, we've got one icon for a market center. This is the only market center in Pensacola. There is a business center down here in Gulf Breeze, and there's one up in Pace over here, but this is the only actual market center. So if we click on this market center, it's theoretically going to show all the agents that are in that market center over here on the right. You can also click on this filter button up top. Okay, so over here on the right, this is a little different from the KW Connect system, but it's the same filters, it just presents differently. You can filter by whether this agent is a member of GPS, luxury, that kind of thing. Closed units here, you can do a minimum of such and such. Closed list side, closed buy side, closed leases. Leases probably not very important, not sure why that's in there. And then you've got Mega Camp 2018, whether they attended that. And then down here underneath all these other buttons, and they need to work on getting this repositioned, is the apply button. So we're gonna just do this closed units of 3, and we're gonna go ahead and try to increase listing side to 3. So we want all of their listings, if they've had at least 3, to have been, or excuse me, all of their closings, if they've had at least 3, to have been listings. We don't want to work with a buyer's agent here. We want to send listing referrals. So we'll click on apply down here. Viewer 31 asks if this is year to date. I don't believe that's the case. I believe it's the past 12 months. So from last March to this March. Yeah, it does say for the last 12-month period year to date. So that would be from last March. Okay, well, we showed you the filters there, and you can narrow that down, and over here on the right, you can add this person to your referral network, or you can send them a referral directly, which will automatically send them an invitation to your referral network. And after you complete that invitation, it'll also give you the option to send them a referral as well. So you can do both things no matter which button you click on. It's just the order in which you do them. So we're going to click on the send referral button over here on the right for Tammy. There we go. So here's sending this referral to Tammy. All of these fields are required. You do have to put a value in each and every one of these fields. So Tammy, is this a buyer, seller, or renter referral? Well, until it loads. That next slider down is referral percentage. So if you're sending them actually, it doesn't matter which one you're sending them. You're telling them how much of their commission you want to have for sending them this referral. 25% is the default, it's the industry standard, but you can drag this higher or lower depending on, actually, I don't even know what that would depend on. You guys are agents, you would know better about that than I would. Under that, we've got acceptance deadline. This is how long this agent that you're sending the referral to has to accept, counter, or reject this referral before it gets automatically rejected. So default is 24 hours, but you can do as many as 96 hours, 4 days, and you can also do as short as just 1 hour. Say this is a really hot referral and you just want to find out really quickly if this agent wants to work with it. You can give them just 1 hour to respond with whether or not they actually do. You've got your minimum maximum price range for this buyer, seller, or renter. For client info, we'll click on this little drop down here. And I believe you're going to be able to select somebody from your command database. Yep. Let me search for John. There we go. We got our John Smith here. Select him. And now it'll send that information along with this referral. This is a little bit different from in KW Connect. You'd actually have to manually type in that information. Under that, for transaction time frame, that's how soon does this person want to be buying or selling their home, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or you can customize it to something like 4 months or something like that. I'm going to select 3 here. On the right here for buyers specifically, it has a checkbox here for whether or not they're pre-approved for a loan. So I'm going to pretend this buyer is pre-approved, check that box here. And then notes is required. You do have to send a note to the agent that you're sending a referral to. Something like, a client that I've worked with in the past is moving out of state. I have no licensure there, so here's a referral for you. Or this is my friend or family member. This is so-and-so that I used to work with, things like that about this referral, maybe special things that they're looking for, things that they've already looked at. Maybe they've worked with another agent and decided they didn't like them, something like that. You do need to send a note to the agent that you're sending the referral to. Once you click send referral down at the bottom, I'm not really going to send this referral to Tammy. She would be very, very confused. But once you click send referral, it's automatically going to be also sending a referral network request for her to be listed in that referral section. If I close this here, I want to show you one last option here on the map as you're searching for an agent to send a referral to, which is this broadcast referral. Once this number in the parentheses here gets below 100, I believe it's 100, you have the opportunity to broadcast this referral so that what would happen is any agent that shows up in these search results over here would receive basic information about this referral, what they're looking for, their price range, the area, and they would decide whether or not they want to work with this client. And they would, tell you, yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not interested, and you have this pool of yeses to pull from, and then you would choose one of those to say, okay, I want to send it to this agent, and everybody else loses out. And then from there, it would get the actual contact information for that person. So it's the same basic form. You're telling them, is it a buyer, seller, or renter? You've got those sliders there. And then it tells you in this section here, the client information below will be kept confidential, 4 times confidential apparently, until you award the referral. So you select your client down here and the notes and everything, just like we did on that other one. But when you broadcast it, everybody will see this information up here. And after you choose, hey, this person wins the referral, then they'll get this information down here. And it's the same process to select your contact from your KW Connect database. So it looks like they do have to be in KW Connect, or excuse me, in Command already in order for you to send a referral, or to broadcast a referral here through KW Command. Okay, so I got signed in as Scott here, so I'm going to move this window up here and see if we can do some play back and forth between me and Scott. I'm going to go back to the referral dashboard for both of us. So let's pretend that Scott has a referral to send to me. I'm going to click on the send referral button here on the left side. Left is Scott, right is me. There we go. So now we've got this referral request out really quickly. For select agent up here, we're going to send this to. Okay, so it looks like that send referral button only works for people that are already in your referral network. Good to know. So I'm going to go and try to grow my network again. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to show you on Grow My Network. You can search for a specific agent by name. Let me maximize this again. That's up here near the right. It's going to move over here in just a second. There we go. So when you search for a name, it's going to show my referral network first. It shows me there is no Scott Leroy in my referral network, but out of my network, it shows Scott, and I can click on this little plus sign over here to send him an invitation to join my network. And then it's optional whether or not you want to include a note when you send your invitation. I'm just going to send it without it. So while we're waiting for that to send, I'm going to go ahead and click on this pending invites on Scott's side so that it can maybe be loading while that's sending and it'll actually show there. So, okay, this referral is going to be going from me to Scott rather than the other way around. So this is a buyer, going to leave those alone there, going to put this 100,000 to 300,000. Going to select my contact here, search for John. There's my John Smith there. Time frame, John is looking to buy within, we'll call it 3 months. He is pre-approved, and I'll put in, this is my cousin who drives pretty crazy. There we go, and then we'll send that referral over here to Scott. So now Scott's going to be receiving 2 things from me. Contact does not have a phone number. Okay, looks like you have to have a phone number for your contact, and I am not going to go through that entire process. Good grief. Okay, looks like I need to get some ducks in a row before I do this class again. We will be doing this class fourth Wednesday of the month moving forward. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and call it at this point because this entire thing has just been a big mess. So we'll call it for today. So that's going to do it for class today. We will be back next month. Everybody have a great day.